Hi YouTube. So today we finally are heading to Fontaine and we will be doing the Archon Quest. We'll see what's gonna happen in the story and I cannot wait to meet the characters. Let's just see how it's gonna go.
Good old caravan rebat. Now let Paimon think. What were we up to the first time we came here? Oh, Paimon remembers. Nahita's consciousness had been trapped by the doctor, but we followed the clues she left behind to help her.
Why are we going through a recap of this?
So much time has already
Yeah, good memory,
passed since
Paimon.
then, and it seems Sumeru's changing for the better now that Nahita's in charge, right? Paimon just hopes this peace will last a long time, and then Nahita won't have any more new problems to deal with. Yeah, guess you're right.
It doesn't feel very Fontaine-y, but that's where it starts.
In the thick of it. Who knows what will happen next? Come to think of it, maybe it's all because of you. Maybe you're just a magnet for trouble.
Thank you for the hydrate.
Me?
Paimon is the problem.
Paimon ran into you. Paimon never ran into any trouble. At most, when she was super tired, Paimon got caught in some strange whirlpool and sucked out into sea. And even then, you fished Paimon out.
Yes, we're gonna fish Paimon out because we know how valuable of emergency food she is.
Next destination for now.
You know, we're feeding her because, yeah, prepping her.
Look who it is. Running into you in a place like this? I can see you two still love wandering around.
Why are we starting the quest
Oh,
in the
it's Dia.
Sumeru though,
Since
and
when
with
are
the
we
Dia?
just wandering around? We're usually taking care of some serious business, even though it may have nothing to do with our journey. But never mind that. What brings you here?
I just finished a commission in the desert for a usual client of mine.
A usual
Nothing
client
too
of mine.
interesting. Just escorting a shipment of goods. I'm on my way to report back. That's when I saw you two all the way over there, chatting away. What were you two talking about?
We're planning
anyway?
to head to Fontaine actually, Dia, so don't stay too long.
Huh? You serious? Can't say I saw that coming. But you are travelers after all. I guess you'd never stay for too long in one place. Bumping into you like this will become a rarity.
Guess you have to do the Dia quest to do this
I'm starting to
quest.
feel
There is no
sad just
Dia
thinking about
quest,
it.
I don't think.
Hey,
At all.
how about I gather a few mercs to escort you two? What do you say?
Thanks, but no need. Oh, Paimon had no clue you'd miss us so much. But don't worry, we'll come back to see
Like, Dia
everyone when
doesn't
we get a
have,
Sounds good. All
Dia
you need to
doesn't
do to
have,
get
like,
to
the story
Fontaine is
quest,
cross
I
this
don't
stretch
think.
of desert and navigate some waterways. Knowing you two, I'm sure it won't be anything you can't handle. So, when are you leaving?
She knows that... Oh, she does have a story quest?
Oh, wait a sec. Paimon just remembered there are still a few dishes in Sumeru that Paimon
Shush!
hasn't tried yet. Now, where's that list Paimon made?
For some reason, I thought she doesn't. Okay. Why is this dude...
I see. Guess you won't be needing
He's
a
like
going-away
keeping
party
an
or
eye on
anything.
us.
It's sad enough to see you go
I
like
don't
this.
trust this. I don't
Though,
trust him.
Now that I think about
I
it,
don't trust this.
Sumeru wouldn't be what it is today without you. Seems true heroes always prefer leaving quietly.
By the way, should we go say bye to Nahita?
She'll know from our dreams
good point.
anyway.
Then there's no need to bother her in the real world.
Then
No, I didn't do
guess
the
this
S
is
on
goodbye
stream.
for now, Traveler and Paimon. Whether as a client or a friend, you're always welcome to come find me.
We can find you, Dia. But
Dia.
how about Genshin and Hoyoverse entirely finds a better kit for you? Yes, we are approaching the border because this is the first time we are going there. We never went there before. We definitely didn't go and unlock certain waypoints around. I just teleport. Okay, it wants us to go to the harbor, so we're gonna go to the harbor. We definitely didn't explore this. What do you mean, liar? I could never. But look, it's taking us a bit. I should have used this like in the Zuma, like a flying item. Oh yeah, there was. Should we get it? I think we should. I think it will be quicker. I think will be quicker to go with the Wave Rider. I'm still surprised about the area that they did place the wall and like Fontaine, because I was thinking it's gonna be closer to Mondstadt than Liu, but it's not. So I don't know, it's really interesting in my opinion how they chose to do that. But yeah, let's go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, we reached the harbor.
After crossing all that sand and water, we finally made it. Oh, this must be Fontaine's port.
This looks really pretty though.
Everything looks so advanced in Fontaine. Paimon's heard that the industry here is extremely developed, and there are all kinds of unusual machines. Seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but
all sorts of things here.
maybe it would be better if we found something to do. What do you think? Good idea. Nahida
Yeah,
gave us loads of
let's
useful
just go casually meet up with the Archon, because that's what we done before. Just casually went out and like be like, hello, are you Archon? Yes. Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, the more we can learn, the better. So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahida said that she has a very unique personality, whatever that means.
No big deal, just show up and demand the Hydro God. Exactly.
Start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
Yeah, let's just casually join the locals, because why wouldn't we? Because that's a
If you
totally
ask
normal
me,
activity.
It's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly, he was a pretty decent person.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but
The
it's a pity that it
NPCs
never
though.
happened. Still, his story is quite the tearjerker.
The NPC's outfits are.
Excuse me. Can I help you too? I couldn't
Excuse
help
me.
but
Wait, there
notice
is
you
Lynette
standing
in
there
the
listening.
background. There is Lynette.
We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had something we wanted to ask, but you seem to be really busy talking about some kind of play, so we didn't want to interrupt.
Play? Oh, no.
You
no.
mean Mondstadt
We're
commissions?
talking
Fontaine?
about something that really happened. In fact, it's a case that was just heard a few days ago.
Nothing out of ordinary.
Like,
No cameras. Malfunction.
but the way you were talking about it and the words you used just now made it sound like some kind of story.
Yeah.
Good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid enough.
What the heck?
Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
Is the fact that the Court of Justice is literally the opera house, like, that should be court. An opera as two separate
Not
things.
to question Fontaine's way of doing things. It's just that putting someone on trial is usually a very serious
Yeah, the camera always wants to ruin things.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolute.
How are the sound levels, by the way?
Chief Justice Nouvillette, as well as the
Nouvillette.
Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the
Archon
Archon.
Mechanic.
Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and injustice are a thing of the past now.
It sounds good. How is in the relation to my mic and them talking?
Is it some kind of machine too? Oh, Paimon's curious.
I should be a bit louder.
We should check it out if we get the chance.
A bit.
Wait.
Okay,
Now,
good.
I
Thank
forgot
you.
to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydro Archon?
Yeah, what should we do?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
Oh yeah, just casually go meet
I think
the
what
Archon.
they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon personally. In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment.
You
well
have
in
to make an
advance, and
appointment?
it'll depend on whether or not she has any time slots available.
Appointment? Time
The
slots?
Hydro Archon's super busy taking care of official stuff? Wait, didn't you say that she's always at the Opera House?
Exactly, it doesn't make
Lady
any
Farina
sense.
seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment is simply because she's incredibly popular.
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little dramatic from time to time, people can't get enough of her.
What?
First time Paimon's
She's
ever
dramatic.
heard of an Archon being described that way before.
That's a really odd way, indeed, than what we're used to.
Now, the Hydro Archon is kind of like a big celebrity here, right?
Celebrity.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Perhaps you could even say our mascot.
Our mascot.
Hang
Oh
on.
no.
This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about. You should show some more
The
respect.
the Archon is the
Yes,
mascot.
You're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I might get arrested and find myself face to face with Monsieur Neuvillette.
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying something disrespectful about the Hydro Archon.
Alright, I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House. But
Yeah.
who knows how long making an appointment will take? Guess we could have a look around the city in the meantime. Hey!
Oh, is that like Lyney's poster in the background?
Huh.
There was like a Lyney poster on the stand.
She isn't going to jump into the water, is she?
Oh no.
Maybe we better go check on her.
It's the waterfall actually is quite loud, isn't it? Oh look. There is Lyney's poster. And there's a cat.
Hello there. Excuse me. Are you alright?
Huh?
We're meeting
I'm
her.
fine.
We're finally meeting her.
Oh, okay then. We just
It's
noticed that you seem to
only
be
been
worried
like,
about something.
what,
About many things,
3
actually.
years?
But there's nothing I can
Since
do
we
but just
saw
keep my
the
troubles to
initial
myself.
trailer for Genshin
I was
Impact.
just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just atop
Rem-
that hill over there.
Like literally 3 years. After 3 years.
You're pointing at the sea.
Do you remember,
Wait,
guys, when there
are you
used
saying
to
that you and
be
your
a
brother lived in the
moment where everyone thought that Lyney and Lynette is gonna be like one. You're gonna pull them together
No people call the waters around
and have them
Fontaine
as a character, and they were
sea.
gonna swap
It's
around.
actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water.
They are.
And though I can still see that hill clearly in my memories, now it's been completely
Let's
submerged.
have more of this.
He would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled with the scent of the sea. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories.
Swallowing their
It won't be
memories, the
long before
water.
it swallows us.
What do you actually mean by the water will swallow them?
Paimon doesn't really get what you mean.
That sounds really bad. It sounds like they're
I
stealing the
don't believe
memories.
We've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh,
Lyney. Hello, Lyney!
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern. Oh, allow me
The
to
way he
introduce
like seems to
myself.
shut them down
I'm
in a way.
Lyney, and this
Didn't
is my
he?
sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the
Paimon is
traveler.
Paimon.
Just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with
Paimon
your
is
sister.
Paimon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
the
get
Blade's
what you were
voice
saying.
actor.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all. I'm usually the only one she ever talks to.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Then you two are just like us. Paimon's always the one talking for some reason.
Oh, he's the one talking for some reason.
So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Oh, okay. We are bonding.
Seems you
We
were
are
right,
bonding.
Paimon. We are quite similar.
So, what did Lynette
Yeah,
do
she is
just now when
showing
she
a
said
shade
that
of
the
Lyney.
water
She's
is
like,
engulfing your
you're like
memories,
Paimon to
and
me.
it won't be long before it engulfs you too.
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time now. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about what's happening in Fontaine now. Where
What's
to
happening?
begin?
Yeah, what's happening?
Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't formally greeted each other yet, have we?
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Yeah, what the heck?
Hello, traveler.
Huh? Pleasure to meet you. Why does he want to greet it like that? Is he gonna show a little trick?
And hello, Paimon.
The way...
Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon, are you?
Please, don't take offense.
Doesn't that teardrop
Just
tattoo means
consider
he
it a
kills
sort of
someone? Does
etiquette
that?
we have here in Fontaine when making new friends. You should remember it. It might prove useful.
Oh.
Alright then. Well, Paimon's just happy to have a local friend now. By the way,
A
we were just
local
getting ready
friend
to go
now.
to the Opera House to meet the Hydro Archon. Would you be able to show us the way?
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the Opera House later myself. I'll gladly take
Okay.
you once I finish things here.
Well, do we need to
Please
wait?
follow me.
Do we need to wait once he finishes the things? He's so Kaya. A bit? A bit? Maybe? The way he is like explaining things? And they're literally just walking. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess. Why are
you
they running?
said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems Lady Farina has come to see you.
Huh? Whoa. Hello. Hey, yo, look at her. But why is everyone is like this? And she's at the very top too. I think she really liked the
She's the
theatric
Hydro Archon? But
appearances and stuff.
we were looking for her.
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration. If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu.
Oh, that's a really interesting personality for the Archon to have already. Like,
As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in
your
our nation.
eyes are different.
Let us make a toast in honor of this traveler
Look.
and his companion.
So it
who
makes
have journeyed
sense.
here from distant lands.
It makes sense why the Fontaine's glider is like this. Like, look at her eyes even.
Is she talking about...
And how did she knew?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you
Oh, she
nevertheless.
heard everything.
No, I have come to receive you personally.
Come to receive us
There
personally,
is
so she
for
heard.
insignificant
She has a lot of
matters.
drama already in her.
I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured, I see clearly.
She's gonna receive
your
us, yeah.
sincerity. Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my
It's like the
power
wall,
and
like
witness
background
my
music
authority.
too.
Intelligent people always gather under the correct banner.
Correct banner?
Gosalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip.
The value
Now,
significance.
You may rejoice in this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for a
She
few
is
days.
full of herself.
But the Hydro Archon's entrance was,
She definitely made an entrance.
Ahem. Miss Hydro Archon? How did you know we were coming?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding.
Oh my god.
Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck by my ability.
She's so full of
You have
herself,
thus
like
stop and
actually.
consider, do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about
A
you.
flick of my finger.
Talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony still isn't enough?
Is she
What else should I
Is it
say?
on, like, you know, look at her lashes. It looks like, you know, the pattern that you would have usually on the crown. That's her lashes.
Is she waiting for us to start talking?
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina here. What a surprise!
Everyone is like literally being
Does
so
this
like
mean
nice.
there's the legendary blonde traveler? How did I not know?
Legendary
this before?
blonde traveler.
What's all the commotion? Oh,
The
is that Lady
legendary.
Farina? Is there some kind of drama going on?
Some
Of
drama?
course. That's the blonde traveler. The one
the
all
blonde
those stories are about.
The blonde
Lady
traveler.
Farina came here to personally see him. Oh, I bet this is gonna be the duel of the century.
Is the fact that he has like
Got to see this.
that like
I knew Lady
striped
Farina would
top.
never disappoint.
I'm a boat person.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy, and despite the noise, I've come to tolerate all their ruckus.
Oh, did she? I don't know.
You may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler
duel?
from another land, just as you were hoping to see.
Wait, there's gonna be a duel? We gonna fight her?
She wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Fighting gods have got a resume? Florine. Her eyes. This is gonna be really interesting.
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that this is
Are
a
you not
duel
afraid?
against the divine?
Oh no, I'm so afraid.
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Ooh. Oh, her voice? Excuse me? Her voice? It's so deep. Florine, could you, Sarah? Huh.
Stand down, Clorend. I admire his
Clorend.
bravery. have the courage to draw their sword against a god. He is obviously a true warrior. Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled, and a mere duel will not slake their thirst for excitement.
Oh, yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that interesting.
On Araneus,
I
criminals are
already
always
forgot how to
enlisting
say
ghouls to
chlorine.
defend their honor. I'm getting a bit old, to tell the truth.
You see, then, as the god of justice,
Ah,
I shall face this traveler in another kind of duel. A duel in court!
In court.
Oh, all right. Now that'll be worth seeing.
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. Such a grand.
Yeah, I wonder how
opera
to
house.
pronounce
It'd be a
it.
pity not to
Grossly,
use
like
it.
Nouvellette. We already heard it's like
Here's some
Nouvellette.
of the crowd's reactions. Seems you've spent a little
Yeah, she is putting us on a trial.
house.
She's like really welcoming us, doesn't
Sounds
she?
like you plan to have a duel in court. You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have reason to put you on trial. It's obvious, isn't it?
Reason.
According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month.
Flying
You
objects.
are clearly guilty of violating this law, no?
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong. That's our Lady Farina.
Basically,
No one knows the laws
Paimon,
of
you're
Fontaine
flying.
like she
So,
does.
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait, flying object?
she's not an object though, but wait, hold up. So basically, she just said that Paimon. Wait, let me do this. So, she just said that Paimon is a flying object, meaning Farina agrees that Paimon is not, you know, she's not on a level. She's emergency food. She's like an object, a thing that you can use for some.
Precisely. Now, if you two have
Paimons are illegal in Fontaine.
then,
Basically,
in the name of the Hydro Archon, I order your arrest.
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun, but if you would allow me to interject, I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
Tell her,
oh,
Lyney. Finally, someone who's not crazy. How could anyone call Paimon a flying object?
they are literally like we've been arrested like in a span of like a couple of minutes.
My beloved citizen, I'll permit you to object, but how exactly do you plan to prove your claim?
My beloved citizen.
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show.
Oh
So,
my god.
with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
A trick. Okay, a pyrovision. You connected them?
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did you do that?
Yeah, when he patted you on the back. It's the fact that like he seems to get like help us already, but like I don't know. I kind of saw this coming.
As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon.
Something like a
This rope has
balloon.
been in the traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Like a
You call
balloon.
that magic? You've got to be joking.
Paimon is a balloon confirmed. There's no
I
way.
thought it was pretty good. Nice one.
Huh. I'm not sure what to think.
Harry.
It seems Lady Farina's charges no longer hold water.
If I change my name to Barry, don't worry, I will let you know first. She's loving it. She's actually
Very
loving it.
amusing, Lyney. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you here, today's performance can finally be called complete.
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
Yeah, she says everything is performance to
Consider
her.
the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice will not bring charges against an innocent person. But
She is eccentric, I
when there
think.
are valid grounds, I will not only judge travelers from abroad, but even the gods of other lands.
The gods of other lands. And Violet Moon, thanks for the follow. Welcome. How are
Upcoming
you?
performance at the Opera House, Mr. Lyney and Miss Lynette. That's enough for now. Toodaloo!
Toodaloo. Who else says Toodaloo? What of the characters? Hutao. So literally Paimon's like, you're a balloon now.
Just like that. She's gone. Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen.
I mean, yeah.
I haven't had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was really...
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually come in handy.
Yeah, but like, it did
So-
came in handy.
Now do you see what kind of god Lady Farina is?
She can be a bit confusing at times, but
bit
she is
confusing.
still amenable to reason.
Okay, a bit confusing.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Lyney. It sounded like you'll be performing at the Opera House, right?
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is my assistant.
A few simple tricks.
It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in
There, this is the
Fontaine,
poster that we
the
saw.
Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials?
Yeah, exactly. That, like,
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred. And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate. Might I invite the two of you to see my performance?
ooh.
My brother's always
I want to
excited
see
to
them
make new
perform,
friends.
actually.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to the Opera House anyway.
But I would like a
Splendid.
cut-scene
In that
performance.
case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. I just have something to take care of first. You
What does
really
he have to
mean it?
take care of?
Then I'll take you up on your offer. This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can
Sarah
help me
plays Circus
distribute
by
them to the
Britney
people
Spears. Don't tell me how long a certain part will be.
Huh?
Please.
What are they going to use it for?
here. About that. You asked me before about the prophecy, right? Let me start by telling you a little more about what it entails.
Yeah, what?
I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day,
That's so
the
wrong.
water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine
That's-
be washed away.
That's so
That sounds
odd.
pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with sin? What is that supposed to mean?
There are lots of guesses. Some
Plot
say
twist
that
that
the
Hydro
ancestors of Fontaine
Archon
stole
dies
the power
too.
of the seas
Imagine.
and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as conjecture.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed,
Yeah, like,
wouldn't
that
it
doesn't
be
make
better
any
just
sense.
to ignore the prophecy completely? Why bother feeling guilty all the time?
That's exactly what the people did at first. But In the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started rising.
Yeah, it's getting their memories.
Many places have already been completely submerged, and now lie beneath the
I mean, you
sea.
still would be able probably to
Many
pull the
people
character, even the
carry on with
character
their
like would
lives as
die maybe.
before and shrug it off as a natural
But no, they won't kill
phenomenon.
an Archon.
But my
Not this early.
family and I think that the people of Fontaine
in the
shouldn't
thing.
ignore the possibility, which would end up sentencing them to death. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, we've started distributing magic pockets to them.
Magic pockets!
As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity. I'm sure they will come in handy when people are moving their belongings.
Oh, Paimon gets it. It's like preparing for a rainy day. But this is...
That sounds like a really bad
Perhaps
disaster
only
to have.
absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe.
The absolute
But
power.
who knows? We're just tiny specks in the grand scheme of things.
Tiny specs.
Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic pockets to anyone nearby. Be sure to convince them to take it, regardless of what they say.
I don't know. They are not gonna leave because, well, they won't. They won't. Okay. Look, what? Mister? He has a mustache. Fancy.
What's this? Ah, so you also believe in the prophecy. Keep it. I won't have any use for it.
I will have any use for it. No.
You mean you don't believe in the prophecy?
No, I believe in the prophecy. But I also believe in another story.
Ooh.
The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean and couldn't live apart from it.
One with the
As
ocean.
time wore on, people desired to live on land.
You know, one with the forest, one
developed
with the
blood
ocean.
vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. Thus could people
Encapsulating
set
the
foot
sea?
on land. So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all, it'll be like we're going home.
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before.
I mean,
But people can't
he's
live in the
coping.
water.
He's
They'll die.
coping, okay? He's actually
Probably
coping.
still take it.
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that being dissolved into the water doesn't necessarily mean death.
Maybe it doesn't. We don't know.
So
Pockets.
you're the blonde traveler that everyone's been talking about.
The blonde
My
traveler.
apologies for not recognizing you earlier. Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of everything. I guess it's better to prepare for the worst.
What is the thing
Hope
now?
for the best.
That we are the
Thanks.
blonde traveler?
Please, also thank the magician on my behalf when you get the chance.
Is that a Fontaine title? Well, we had a honorary knight. What was this? What was the fish thing in like? Oh shit! It darkened. What was the thing in Azuma when like with the fish? That was our name too. We're going to the boat. No, imagine if our Fontaine title is actually the blonde traveler.
Huh? I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a long time before the water can cover everything. Life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I mean, that's one way to look at it.
You never know when it'll come in handy.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I start moving, that means I've already given up on the life I have now.
I mean, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay. Let's go, Lyney. Let's go.
Oh, you already handed out all of the magic pockets?
Yes.
That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard some interesting opinions.
They're stubborn.
Yes, but that will change once
That's like an
disaster
understatement.
strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
I mean,
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking about bringing him some more materials.
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like and we'll help. Many
yeah,
hands
always,
make light work.
always helping out with
that would
things
be much
and materials.
appreciated. We'll need some Romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
Okay. Let's get the flowers. Let's get them.
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect Romaritime flowers.
So that's what happens to it. Okay. Personally, I think this is like a really pretty like flower. I don't know. Let's go. Lyney.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler.
I'm an
I've
experienced
also
traveler
finished
because
collecting a few
I
here.
gave him flowers
Maybe
really
next
quickly.
time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No
Wow.
way. I'm in power saving mode.
Power
today.
saving mode.
Otherwise, I fear I may not have any energy left for the performance at the Opera House.
Power saving mode.
Fine.
Introvert
Though the performance
things.
is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we should get ready to head back to the court of Fontaine.
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to the Opera House? Good. Paimon wants a tour of Fontaine's
Like, I
largest
wonder-
city and try...
And try what? Food? Try the foods?
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Oh?
What's wrong with her? Paimon didn't notice anything.
She's obviously a thief. Magicians
Oh?
and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted
Might close the
audience is
window,
one that
'cause
won't
it's
discover
warm.
what you're really
Oh,
doing.
warm, loud.
Watch her movements carefully.
Huh? Did that NPC? Wait,
Oh, he's
what?
right.
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her.
You're gonna catch
It
her.
seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should split up. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to. All right.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We have a team to catch. Excuse me. Let's go. No, honestly, I'm really happy that we don't need to like climb all that. You just done the second act of the Archon Quest. People, some of you guys are working really quick with that. I jump, I want to reach the top. How do I sometimes manage to glide? You did the third, there's only two.
This is the spot where Lyney wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her?
Okay, let's get her. Let's get her.
Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her?
Chase her. Chase.
You're right. She might also be trying to lure us away.
Huh? Why are we waiting?
Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Lyney caught the thief.
Why did they let...
Yeah, let's go.
Why did... That makes makes no sense.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you enough.
I don't know, why did they just stand
I didn't
there?
notice a thing earlier. Anyway, I should be going now. Thanks again.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time I looked back, she was already gone.
Technically,
I
if
saw
the
the
traveler
general direction she
went,
went,
if
but
we
Lyney
went
twisted
to
his
Hal
ankle, and I
and
needed
see
to
what
make
she's
sure he was
doing,
okay.
we could have catched her too.
Did you get hurt, Lyney?
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact, it's feeling better already.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
Oh, hi, she. It's like,
You're
try not
right,
to get
you're right.
hurt. She's so
Sorry,
sweet.
Lynette.
Then it will derail our
I have to
performance.
admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things turned out all right in the end, though. Lyney's initiative paid off.
All right, let's put this little detour behind us. We should go to the court of Fontaine now.
Okay, we're going to the court. Oh, we're gonna ride the aqua bus. Ooh, it's gonna be a cutscene. Okay. Aqua bus time.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around. People in Fontaine really know how to use water.
They
This
really
is
know
an
how to
aqua
use
bus.
water.
It allows people to travel between
How do
several
we use
key
the
locations
hydro?
around Fontaine. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same. That's why it's better to travel with friends.
So you mean it's still boring even when I'm riding with you?
Oof. Look at the doggo in the
no,
background.
That's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much.
Aww.
Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same as being at home.
Whatever.
That's...
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave.
yeah, let's get boarding. Let's get boarding. There was Charlotte! Charlotte! Is she sad?
Huh?
What?
What?
Paimon!
Charlotte!
We're here!
I'd never guessed I'd bump into you while riding the aqua bus. In the story of my life, this is big news.
At the story of my
What are
life.
you doing in Fontaine? I didn't hear anything about you paying us a visit.
She didn't hear anything, but she works as a journalist.
Travelers were always on the move. It's not surprising that nobody knew we were coming.
Nobody knew.
Though we still
Nobody?
have no idea how the Hydro Archon knew about us. Oh, let Paimon introduce you to our new friends.
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I would recognize the great magician Lyney and his assistant Lynette anywhere. I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Wait, she's a 4.0 journalist. Either way.
The Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
Although, I'm glad we met Charlotte.
It's an honor to meet you.
Now that everyone knows each other, Fontaine suddenly doesn't feel like such an unfamiliar place. So,
We're
what
just
you
like
been up to lately,
taking a
Charlotte?
trip.
Any big news?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics.
Oh well.
For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships,
or how
What?
a financial criminal was once so
What?
poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days.
Single piece of bread.
You're right.
How do you make it
Kids know me
interesting?
pretty well. What I'm really
Why?
after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my talents. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually.
Ooh.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
That's right.
Ooh.
These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most mysterious case we've ever seen. If I'm the first,
You know what? I
draft
really
published when the case finally cracks,
hope we get
it's the
to
headline story in this
experience
when that happens,
Charlotte's
all the other
and
reporters will
Yanfei's
shed
interaction.
tears, envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't wait for the truth to be revealed.
So, what is the serial disappearances of young women case?
I just noticed like it has like the
Down?
motion thing too, like it's moving like to the sides as it's
That's
not going
right.
like
The
straight
first missing girl
all the
case
time.
happened almost 20 years ago. And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all of a similar age, and that they've all vanished without a trace. But the
And hey,
scariest
welcome
part is
back,
that
welcome
to
back.
this day, none of the girls have ever been found. Many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance
What do
would
you mean
always
late?
happen.
You were here earlier.
Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind it, waiting to be exposed.
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserves some sort of explanation. I just
Oh, that
imagined
was your
for a second
brother.
what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Lyney.
Oh, imagine that, Lyney. Dude, like she's so like no.
Hey, we're almost there, look!
Ooh. It's the music too. This is really pretty. This is a nice cutscene. Maybe. Look at the grass bits. Even like from the top, how they look. No, this looks really pretty. This looks so stunning.
I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
Yeah, the music is really enchanting.
Us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late.
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again soon, Charlotte. See ya!
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the
But you
theme
know,
park
like there
next
is
month.
drama going on with this music. Like you can feel it. It's in the air.
Tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone. Well, where should we go now?
I don't remember
If you
actually there
don't
were like any
mind,
spoilers
how about
now.
we stop by
but-
my home first? Besides,
Like
I
his
still have
home.
all the materials we collected.
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start anyway.
It's so huge. Like after exploring the entirety of Sumeru, technically. Ooh, this is so pretty. But I don't trust this thing at all, to be honest, because that's the thing with the energy, I think. So pretty. The Traveler, I love it. Okay. Let's go, Lyney. They follow you. The city is really beautiful. The city is really beautiful. Oh, this is house?
This is our current abode.
Current abode.
Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to introduce.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
Oh?
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon.
The
I
father?
suppose that can't be helped.
Who's the father? The way he said
Allow
it.
me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine.
Really, you know?
He is a phenomenal diver.
Phenomenal. Okay.
Hello.
The voice. What the heck? Why did he put such a...
And this is the traveler.
My
You
ears.
sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Lyney.
Lyney, could you come here for a moment?
He is so depressed and sleepy.
Hmm?
You have a
What is it,
suspect on
Fremine?
Lyney. No,
Do you
Lyney
have
can
something
be
to tell me?
suspicious a bit, yeah. The father. Father. What are you talking about?
Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework.
Housework.
Sorry for the interruption.
Housework.
Oh, before I forget,
Hi,
the traveler
Bossman.
and I
Hello,
collected
hello.
more materials to make magic pockets.
The magic
Were
pockets.
you able to get any, Fremine?
Yes, I went diving.
I
and
don't
gathered
trust
lots
this
of materials.
housework.
I was about to give them to you.
I'm gonna try this
That's
tiny
our
like yogurt
Fremine.
thing that I
Always
have.
quick with the underwater work.
Where's this little penguin?
All
Oh
right,
yeah, there
I'll
was in a
take
live
these
stream
to
his
the workshop.
penguin. I'm gonna try this. It's yogurt. It's raining! Wait, the person actually like ran like that. And actually see whether it's good.
Looks like rain.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago? Fontaine's weather sure is weird.
We'll have to try it,
I'm
but
afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the opera house, but don't worry,
rains
it'll
on a
clear up soon
days
enough.
when there's trials? That sounds like so wrong.
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe.
What
It's
legend?
said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain.
The dragon of water. Is that Lynette?
When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
Yeah,
If it's
it's
an
gonna be
elemental
them.
dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something.
Oh no. Oh no, Paimon, please.
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Yeah, it just
Doesn't
it
seem
was
to be
just
of any use.
concentrated.
It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept
Yeah.
of romanticism.
I think I'm gonna eat this
Or
one.
could at least play along.
It's not that it's bad.
Sorry.
It's very sourish.
It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words
You
of
will let like,
strangers.
huh? That's very sourish.
It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting late.
Was there something you needed to do, Lyney?
Yeah, some preparations for the
Some
show at the Opera House.
preparations.
I need to find a way to catch the last aqua bus of the day. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Aeneas. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Okay.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What
I
is it,
think
Fremine? I'm in
there
hurry.
is a theory that Newlette will be
I
a
get it.
dragon
You
because
feel nervous delivering
when
the
there was
materials
his
for the
drip
magic pockets,
marketing,
is that it?
usually you have vision and it says element. But even with Rossley, it was vision and then cryo. But with Newlette, it was question mark. Hydro.
Perhaps we could
So he
trouble the
technically
traveler
won't have
to
a
help us
vision,
take
he won't
these
have something
materials to the
else.
Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the owner there. I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted, and the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been.
Yeah, because Constellation was also hidden.
No trouble at all. Don't worry, we're on the case.
Yeah, he's still a Nusando, but he's a
Sorry for
Dragon
the
of Spando.
inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks. I'll think of a way to make it up to you.
I'm quite useless.
Oh, no need.
Like,
This'll be a walk in the
it's so
park,
depressing. I need to drink more energy. Ooh. Okay, where did we see a teleporter? There was a teleporter. What's this? A cafe! Wait, can we get some recipes? Yeah, tell me about sweet stuff. That's recipes! Fonta! Is this like Fanta? It's like a drink created by Fontaine. Fonta? They look fancy. I want them. Coffee beans. There we go. It's definitely Fanta, but with imagine his burst, he turns into the dragon. You know? So let me take a moment here. So I will explain a couple of things that I think. So if he is a dragon, as a lot of people suspect, I do believe that summer event that we have gotten, that we have played in Idia, she was kinda warming us up to the idea of someone like a you know, like a dragon. She's an oceanid, right? But she can have a human form. So I do suspect that with Noirceur, it can be the same thing in a way. And what I'm thinking, yes, that it was foreshadowing. I think it was foreshadowing for the fact that we will be having a similar thing in a Fontaine, which is the Noirceur. And I do believe he might like also have some sort of like hydro blobs, or I don't know, or summon some sort of thing like a dragons or whatever. Like, at least that's the feeling that it's giving me anyways. At least that's how I feel about it. Because usually with Genshin, they do prepare something to do, like something similar in the summer event for the thing that we will experience in the upcoming region. This is not the first time they've done it. That's why I'm kind of like confident that this probably will be the case.
Hello? Is there anyone here?
Yeah, is anyone here?
Oh,
Ooh,
hello
the
there.
glasses!
New customers?
The steampunk!
Bye.
The goggles!
You need something made. Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making...
Yeah, last year we got Nahida sneak peek.
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now.
No, like literally we heard like Nahida talking with us last year, so...
No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and their pockets are made of gold.
No, literally Hoyo always does use the events to test out future mechanics. And yes, they potentially give the lore, so we met like Nahida kind of well in what she was anyways. I'm thinking like what was in the previous one. I know there was Magukenki, obviously in like the very first time we went. I'm thinking what else? There must have been like some mechanics too. I just don't recall them now from the very first summer event.
Whoa. So, is Lyney actually loaded?
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Why use your
imagine
hands
this is
when
a
the machine
forgery.
can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology.
Kafka what?
And wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman's terms for you, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
That basically, why do they produce like that?
Produce energy.
How like? That's why I think like the thing in the middle.
Well, I'm not completely
does,
sure of all the details.
which is why I don't
myself,
like it, because I think that's in the end the reason
when
why
a
the
trial
water
is in
levels will
session,
rise.
The Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other
That
function is?
that overwhelmed me.
Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the Archon to make judgments. But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines?
Your head hurts now after her saying all of those
So
words.
that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy
But they not
called
think
Numancia. It is
Fontaine.
produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away.
Oh boy.
Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
What is
You again.
this?
Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month?
Yeah, I already want to
Or
fight them,
how did
Loki.
you know?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month?
They look like
I
the
want
they would
50%
be from like
today.
the
Wait,
underground
no,
of the Fontaine.
70%.
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials.
Hey, hold on.
Child?
Before you go around trying to collect payments,
What?
why don't you settle your own debts first?
Huh?
If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland
What?
Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty
Yeah, it is a
sum of
Mr.
more.
Worldwide.
So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank.
Woodland
We
Bank?
said we'll pay everything we owe next month.
Why is he
are
from-
you hounding me now?
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Yeah.
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring.
Oh, have they?
But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble.
But what's
Either way
always
you
in
look
my
at it,
trouble?
It seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Oh my god.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy.
Northland Bank boy.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this.
Traveler
Why don't
like
you
this.
wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy.
Boy?
You want your Mora? Fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Oh,
Hey, I
he
just said
wants
not
to
to interrupt.
fight.
Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said,
Hey! That's way over the line! Alright,
Oh,
boys,
okay, we are
let's see who
fighting
has to
them.
pay
We
up
are
now.
fighting them.
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients. You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sure this won't take long.
Yeah, he's just like telling like, you know, his life story, like in the most casual way. Okay. Let's see his child's build. 1.8. child at 90.2 crit rate, 91.9 crit damage. With the Polar Star too, there's no way. 4-piece Noblesse, 5-piece Noblesse, but is he free, I guess? Okay.
No time to lose.
No time to lose. You run out of internet. How can you run out of internet? And welcome back, by the way. Did your internet just die? I cannot believe we just saw this child build.
How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's
Oh
Northland
no, I see. That's
tell me
why you
you're-
used all of it already?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland
Yeah,
Bank.
don't mess with the bank. Huh?
Huh?
What happened to his vision thing? What was
Now's
it?
my chance.
That was so odd. He just locked it.
That was weird.
What did they use the energy from the visions?
I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
That's like
Strange.
oh, so maybe that's why he won't have vision.
Paimon's ever heard of someone losing control of their vision.
That's like so
Never mind.
odd.
It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
I have my Delulu. I have my Delulu.
Don't see its work for North.
It's just cooldown.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
When do you feel down?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me.
Restless
And I don't
power.
know why, but every now and then I feel like I'm in a terrible mood.
It's depression.
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling inside.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss.
When I was 14, I
It was
fell into
during
the
that time I
abyss.
learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk.
Skirk.
She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me.
It?
She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it?
When you were 14, you fell in love with Jean.
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss.
God.
In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive.
A whale?
I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
He woke up a
That's just
narwhal.
an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little twisted to Paimon. So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you.
Oh, now he has to go.
Somewhere else I need to be, so I should get going.
I still like it. Still throws me off the fact that we met Child here.
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Oh, a personal appointment.
Champion Duelist? You mean it's their job to duel?
Yep. In Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified
I
strategy.
kind of have a feeling that
So engaging in such a duel
that's
is
gonna be
regarded as a
chlorine
symbol of
then,
defending your honor.
because I'm pretty
If
sure
a
in the
criminal
live stream they
manages to
even
win the
said
duel, they'll be
that he
acquitted.
wants to spar
But
with
if they
chlorine.
lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial.
But that
And the worst case
means
scenario is
that
that
means
you're
that he's
simply
doing it
killed
on
in the duel.
purpose if he's gonna go on the
Though it's
scene.
rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty. From what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death.
So he's
really,
gonna
the only
get it on
people who opt
purpose.
to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused.
Yeah.
Or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your
See?
life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
I think
Apparently,
many
it's
would.
exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine.
There we go.
Apparently the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is
Clorend.
the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally
Hello,
agreed to face me today.
Mother.
That's Child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that.
Oh, before I forget, I want
What is
you
he
to
gonna
have
give?
this.
Give us his vision? Did he just?
Huh? Your vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So I think I'll be better
Okay.
off without it for now.
Okay.
Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
He just casually gives his
You
vision.
just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
Do Cabbages? Are you giving me spoilers
Sneaky
here?
guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lyney's performance.
We only know that one is meant to be in this patch.
Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer!
Child only.
Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Whew.
Yes,
Paimon never
Cavi,
saw
I
that
want
twist
food.
coming.
I want
Murder
food.
mystery novels here are amazing.
I want food.
The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light
Please.
novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks this style of novels are more, well,
I will leave this yogurt for
It's so
you, by the
exciting
way.
to
It's
reach
too
the moment
sour,
when the
too bitter
mystery
for
is
me.
uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy a copy and read it too. Oh, sorry about that. Paimon will be more careful next time. Hey, shouldn't we be heading to the opera house?
Yeah,
for
how
Lyney's
about?
performance?
I would like to see that. I would like to see the
The
performance.
opera house is on Aranias, so let's go ride the opera bus.
Simon has been talking a lot. Yeah, see, we need to ride it. Bye. Oh, there was that, the
Take it easy.
waypoint. Is that a food court? Okay. We might as well. I wonder, can you reach this? You should be able to, lie. Right? Any preferences? What options are you giving me? Oh no, we are going there. So I think we need to go to the elevator. Okay. Look, they're so happy. Oh, the elevator is gonna be there. I was here before. When I went to look. The Navy line. Signora and... Yeah, Signora and Skyrmish are both in Inazuma. You came to this Fontaine by walking. No, it was the same for me. It was the same for me. Let's wait for the Archibus. Pizza and chips. That or if you don't mind getting nuggies. The chicken nuggets. And chips. Okay. But either is good. Thank you, Cammy. Cammy will make me food. Come on, let me get it in. You know, me struggling. Meanwhile, there's stairs here. That's okay. Ooh, hello. That's a different one. How do you do? Immediately. She's more serious. Cammy? Cammy is my boyfriend.
I am Elfan. The boat will be departing.
Elamond?
Please do not stick your head, hands, or other body parts outside.
She's so more like
the Aquabus operator is not responsible for any accidents or injuries resulting from doing so. Also, please remember to buy the Steambird, though I don't read it myself.
This looks so pretty though.
The current tour is Erinias. Points of interest worth visiting include the Fountain of Lucine and the Opera Epiquest. If you look to the
thank you for
left
the
in direction
hydrate.
we are currently traveling, you will see the famous Fontaine Research Institute up in the sky. An experiment gone wrong turned new sightseeing opportunity. Human ingenuity truly is a wondrous thing.
The burbs. Burbs. This is like so pretty. I want to see that big building. Yeah, we are arriving at the opera. I can see it. Yeah, there might be. It's the berries, sakura.
Please be sure to bring all your personal belongings with
Big
you as
Akami.
you disembark. Even though I will take any forgotten items to the lost and found, the paperwork is rather annoying, as Melusine hands are not suitable for grasping pens.
She's so like...
Please be careful when disembarking. It has been my honor to be your tour guide this trip. Thank you.
Can't believe he used up all of his internet trying to install Genshin and now he has no internet. It turned around too, so we can step out nicely of this. See, this is what I think. This is how it should be, you know?
Take it easy.
Is the fact that this... Ooh, okay, I'm taking those. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is so pretty. I like all of the blues. And the hues. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I wanna test this. I wanna test this. You can enter this. We go. The Hydroculus. We'll be moving forward. Look at that. This is... Oh, this is where the boss is gonna be. This is where the boss is gonna be, like the dancing one. This is so pretty. All of the textures, the stones in the water and everything. And hi, welcome back! It's going alright. I'd like to think we're doing the Archon Quest. Well, and getting a tiny bit on our way distracted, but it's okay. What? Why do they keep spawning? Is there something to do with these structures that will make him keep spawning? I don't know.
Here you are.
Yeah. Okay, I will figure this out later. I wanna do the quest. The fighting music too, though. It sounds really nice. Okay. Look at that. And the doggo. He's just chilling. And the viewpoint. Look. This is like honestly so pretty, in my opinion.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
It's like all of the blues, purplish, pinkish, yellowish tones. It's really nice.
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera Epiclese. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Lyney and Lynette were looking forward to it.
Yes.
Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please
Oh,
bless us with a
Archon.
bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful
She
life.
she has such an attitude.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
They're like talking to the what, fountain?
Vache.
Vache? What? Oh?
What's wrong?
Vache.
What is happening?
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine.
That's so odd.
All the water flowing through Fontaine.
It's not the first time
converges
Traveler
here.
hears like interesting things, so.
It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Oh, Lynette, you scared Paimon. When did you get here?
Lyney asked me to wait here for you. Remember?
Oh?
Right.
What do you mean?
A faint voice.
There are a lot of people here right now.
Of course, no one heard that.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the day. It's not the time.
The way she's like just like covering her eyes is actually adorable.
I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard.
Oh?
In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others
Hypersensitivity
in
to
my
the
family
hydro
have had
element?
similar experiences.
It's because of his sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
That's.
When do you cry, Paimon?
When do you cry?
What? What does that have to do with anything?
When do you cry?
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions.
Oh.
Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where
looks
all
so
the flowing
pretty.
water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So,
Oh?
what did the voice
Someone's
say?
tears.
Huh.
Wash
If you were hearing their emotions, then Paimon wonders what happened to them.
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Lyney might help him relax a little before he goes on stage.
Oh,
It would.
That
It
makes
would.
sense. Let's go in and see Lyney.
And quest activities. Oh, offerings to the Fountain of Lucine. So yeah, you offer the Hydro Sigils to the fountain? It's actually interesting that this is not a tree, because we had trees. And now this is a fountain? And you need 30. Yeah. We also get this new village that we got on Sumeru. You know, we will be doing this, no worries. It's gonna be something. That one looks really happy. There's actually a lot of people. Huh. This looks really pretty. Okay. Let's go in. Not climb. I'll hate him. Not climb. Okay, we're entering it.
Ah, Traveler and Paimon.
Traveler and Paimon.
I knew you two would come.
That sounds so shady.
Miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived.
I just
But you're
know
actually
something is
right on
about to
time.
happen.
The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment, I'll fetch the tickets.
You just know the things are about to go down. Inaudible.
The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already
Don't tell me
reserved your
spoilers.
seat, and here are your tickets.
Ooh, front row seats. Thanks, Lyney.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Because I'll have to time
Lyney,
you out.
Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over
The
there.
stage
That's
props.
Cal, my assistant, calling me.
Cowl.
I'll go.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You
The
go ahead,
cowl.
Lyney.
I don't trust this. I wonder. At least we got like those waypoints. But one thing about it, for me, wondering. I want to do something. Because I have a feeling I might need it. You wanna see the new husband? My god. We need to do the Traveler. So.
Just what will we come across this time?
Oh my god, he talks. We are resonating with Hydro. So much better. This looks so much better. Thank you. So I just don't like green as a color too much. And
What'd
yes,
they do this time?
my character, I play characters that still have some green, but fine. It's fine. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. We are just like running into. Okay. I like these. This looks so... Oh my god. But there's actually a shitload of seats. But it's like literally, what this courtroom? No, it's an opera. And like everything is just so like opera house like. There's not, the courtroom is not a standard thing here.
Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down.
Oh. They, oh, hello. The traveler's face.
Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still. It's kinda awkward if we don't say anything.
Isn't that usually your job?
Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry.
The way he heard
I
it.
would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
His voice though.
So you heard all of that?
Okay.
Boy,
Oh boy.
I thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking.
Look at him though.
So let's talk. But should we talk
Yes,
about?
Paimon, I feel you. Paimon, you know, yeah, 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 oh.
You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Lyney's too?
A friend of Lyney's?
Friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Lyney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh.
Oh, so you're not friends
He's
with
giving me
Lyney then?
Zhongli vibes for some reason.
This is getting more awkward by the second.
And like the way he has his leg up.
Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the traveler.
Paimon is Paimon.
We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Noirceur. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Lyney. I should
Yes.
say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait.
What's he voiced by, I wonder?
Could he be?
Hmm? I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur
Yes,
Noirceur
he looks
is.
so good.
Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in
Symbol of
Fontaine.
justice and honesty.
Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No
looks so
offense taken.
good.
Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression.
Oh no, we already
So I
gotten
think
an
you should take
impression of
notice
her.
sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Flustered. She literally just sits there. She's so...
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention.
Oh?
Now enjoy the show.
Oh?
Huh?
So he doesn't mind her too much?
Things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro
Aww.
Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before!
I am excited. Okay, there is a crowd now.
They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting!
Okay. Why is he thinking this? What is happening?
Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the
Epiclese.
star of today's show, Lyney. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
A sister. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today.
Okay. That?
Both
What is
Lynette
happening?
and myself have removed our visions for the show.
Uh-huh.
That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
That's why
Now,
they don't have
without
divisions.
further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry.
You might miss
She'll
her.
be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way.
Oh?
I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye.
Oh? You know, he piqued my curiosity.
A magician's greatest skill
Oh.
is making things disappear or appear.
Or
The
appear.
possibilities are endless.
He took his hat off. Oh.
Huh?
Cards? And a bird. A burb.
But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something
I'm actually
truly
like,
extraordinary.
I'm
don't you
really
think?
interested. What
This
is gonna
one's
happen?
A little tricky.
Oh.
Using
Oh?
this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
Okay. Oh, Chlorine is there. She's just going into the water? And waving.
It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top.
Oh?
Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully.
Why did it close?
With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do.
So the show is still going. But her clothes stayed there?
Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Huh? She loves it. She actually loves it.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Paimon didn't seem to do anything.
Paimon is so confused.
Disappear and then reappear out of nowhere.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking.
Exactly.
To appreciate magic, You should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
True. Thank you, Cammy.
When Lynette reappeared. Amazing.
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here.
I wonder.
The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen.
Oh, there was a cat!
I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all.
Still his assistant, okay.
In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member.
Oh.
Please,
Paimon.
if my assistants can bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience.
Oh?
I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box.
I mean,
now,
they
please,
run under. Wow,
pay
what a
very
trick!
close attention to
What
the
a
box you
trick!
see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow, how's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lyney have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector.
Oh.
It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then.
Is it Traveler? Imagine if it was Noirceur.
Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations!
Oh.
You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box.
I thought it was gonna be the Traveler.
I'm sorry, it
And
might
yes,
be a
Paris,
little
please stop.
cramped inside, but no need to feel
Because you
nervous.
do end up a bit
We've
spoiling
carefully
it
arranged everything
unintentionally.
for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end
Because
up.
then I
You might
can't
even
look
find
at the
yourself
chat,
in
and
the
that means
Fortress
I
of
ignore the chat entirely because I need to avoid spoilers, and that shouldn't be that way.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown?
Doing a
Like
countdown.
this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up.
Oh,
and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that.
Paimon.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
Okay.
60, 59, 58.
Everyone is just counting.
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52.
Paimon is going.
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is.
Yeah.
Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just
His
enjoy
eyes, though.
Alright. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something. 40, 39, 38.
Mr. Lyney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine, I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic.
The direction of the magic.
It'll be faster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lyney doesn't seem nervous at all.
Huh?
What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure.
The door opening under the stage. That's what happened.
25, 24, 20.
What's wrong, Mr. Lyney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
He's doing it on
Never mind the
purpose, I mean,
decorations.
anyways.
There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
Oh my god. They're all counting.
Things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone.
Doing this on
It
purpose.
feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
I mean, that could
Almost
only
there
be
now.
a recording, to be honest. That can be
Swapping two people
anything.
is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait. Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
Oh my god.
Hey, slow down! Honestly.
The traveler is counting.
Whoops! That doesn't count.
Just like showing there on purpose, of course, cause... Okay.
Ta-da!
The magic trick. It has to something go down wrongly, right? I called it. I called it. I called it. But the lady is there. Is she dead? No. The assistant. Hey, the assistant. He's crushed.
Huh? Is this part of the show? Mr. Lyney,
Did they just...
you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
You look scared.
Oh, no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box.
There's no more girl and there's
This
no more
performance is
assistant.
over.
No.
Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of Justice.
She
No
sounds
need to be
very
alarmed, you two.
angry.
We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough.
I wonder.
Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead.
Shit.
His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Lyney's magic troupe.
Well, the assistant...
Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience.
Yeah.
And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl
It's nowhere to be found.
It appears that this
Yeah,
incident
I did
was
not see that
merely
coming
some
either.
mishap with the
In that way.
performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
Shit.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that
It's being mentioned again.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lyney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Shit.
Huh?
Wait.
Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
I'm actually getting goosebumps.
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen.
It's like almost as she's setting him up.
One of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it,
After she helped.
speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be
It sounds like she's literally setting him up after he helps Traveler.
on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us they would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
Save discussion for a later time, please.
I want to see how
Lady
it plays
Farina,
out. I'm not
may I
like
assume
on
that your
anyone's
comments
side.
just
Like,
now constitute
I don't
an
think Lyney is
accusation
like
against Mr. Lyney and his associates, and that
done
you
anything
are pressing
though.
charges.
I just think that he... Well,
No, I don't think Lyney did
Might be a
this.
little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what
I like that.
Farina said just now makes
I like
perfect
that
sense.
Newlette.
Looks like she's gonna
He's
personally
actually like
deliver
putting like the situation a bit down.
Kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said
Of
it
course,
all.
some people believe her.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing.
What
That's
opponent?
right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Lyney, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met.
She's like so.
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time
We
met.
didn't have a duel. What is she talking about?
But with Lyney's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the
No,
true
she is
victor
not
than here,
annoying. She's
on
like
the
very.
grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
I don't know like how to put it into words.
Obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed.
It's going to
As
warm for
such,
another
the
Archon.
trial is
Yeah.
Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Lyney's attorney and defend him in
As
this
an
case?
attorney? As
Very
an
well.
attorney.
The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Lyney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
That's actually
A day
insane.
isn't that long. Let's see
We are
what
becoming
kind of
lawyers.
case this big shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
That's actually insane though. What? We gotta be lawyers? We need Yamfe. We need Yamfe.
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal.
It's actually insane
I know you
though.
already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the Merca to hear?
No,
Thank you
like
so
I don't
much for
think
trusting
Lyney is a murderer, but like I wonder.
I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left.
It's really
confusion.
interesting how it's like playing
I
out
don't know
already.
whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how
Yeah, why
that
was
girl
he?
chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did.
But technically,
Even a
you would
skilled and
think
knowledgeable magician like myself
someone
couldn't pull
who
all that
would
off in just 1 minute.
should have been able to like be in like a part of who helps him to make those shows now.
Which is precisely why
They couldn't have just like slipped in through.
This book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
What is she wearing? Paimon, please.
I bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier.
Wait, hold up. Hold up, I'm taking a screenshot of this. There's no way she's wearing that.
Used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Oh my god.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
No, like...
Yes, thank you so much.
I wonder who actually done it though.
Yeah, just leave it to us.
I can't take Paimon seriously.
Oh,
it makes it even harder.
Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Yeah, where did he go?
Oh, well... I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Lyney.
I suppose you're
yeah,
right.
like, in a way.
The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic shows a work of art.
Yeah, like how are they gonna then their performance then it's like, oh yeah, I have to reveal all of my secrets for the performance. Basically that's what's gonna happen.
Then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go
with the
investigate
guards.
the stage in the
or
seating areas.
Guards.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case!
Detective Paimon!
Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Lyney's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props.
All of the death's
as well
body
as
is like
assisting
pink.
with the show and keeping the crowd engaged.
No, I think I'm loving the story so
Saw
far.
when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
The chocolate line.
This is the
the
real
albedo.
mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap.
Yeah,
All
but
these
like...
factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Lyney is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
Yeah, but still.
He doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't
Good
say
friends.
we're good friends, but we've known each other for...
Like, there's the fact that she's wearing that.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I
wonder. I'm actually really curious how this
Just
is gonna play
know
out.
that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Okay. You can use case trackers to confirm your current evidence and clue collection situation to sort the case information. Wait, how many clues will I have to pick up? The deceased is the one Lyney's assistant. Yeah, we already have this. Okay. Well, that's a new a way of doing things, no? Okay. Should we examine this, or it was already examined, I guess? Oh my god, this screen, please, thank you. Use perception skill. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, if he wasn't outside.
Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand.
I can't take her seriously. There's no way. Yeah, it hit hard. We all saw that. Ah! I wanna like read those things too, I guess.
This is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope
The
looks pretty
Detective
durable.
Paimon.
How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, traveler?
Yeah, I don't think it was burned by that.
Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of
Why are you so
material,
suddenly so serious on the case?
that means... Wait, Paimon should write all this down. Let's take notes.
Paimon is just literally just like chilling. She's like, I have my detective glasses and the mustache. I can't believe this.
Hello there. What are you investigating?
Huh?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence.
That person I'm having a
Seats were
joke
all
to you,
booked in advance,
basically.
So we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects.
Yeah,
Simply
but
put,
it's very
she wasn't
interesting,
related
like...
to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous.
Are we
serial
also gonna be the
disappearances.
Kurt then? Like, do the Kurt thing here.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay.
No
That's
need to be
not
so
helpful.
formal. If
That's
you
not
happen to see
helpful,
the missing
mister.
girl, please be sure to contact us. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Okay. So we are not getting like the main information here. It does help us. We did do some additional bits. So it will help us to do our thing, you know, we're getting all the
investigation team has some
data.
new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but we're helping Lyney
Actually,
and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lyney used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The
Yeah,
lucky
like,
girl
actually,
that later
yeah.
disappeared.
Oh my
Well,
god, my camera.
We thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
And hi,
Turns
Sayla.
out
Welcome.
the
How are
seat
you?
number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time.
Pick same number every
I'm sure
time?
you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other
But
words,
how could who
Lyney
kept
knew who
control?
would be sitting where from the very beginning.
Oh, I'm doing okay.
That much checks out. Lyney reserved our seats for us too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough. to
Yeah,
make a
whoever
case
did this
for Lyney.
knew had an access to it. But it does help.
Even though it's bad for Lyney's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Yeah. It might be bad for now, but we don't know that. Okay, so that one was actually something we needed to get. Okay, let's get to... See, we get like more points to examine as not like the main points. Okay.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me.
No, honestly,
all right?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Too many thoughts? When does Paimon have
Why don't I
thoughts?
tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it, it all started with that loud thud.
The thud?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that
you mean the
was
sound that happened during the countdown?
that was that big sound. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people
And
heard
thank
it.
you, Cammy.
It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lyney's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lyney's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pirate
I don't think
technic went
so.
off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
I wonder.
Suppose
I'm actually really
I
curious
must
now.
reconsider.
I'm actually
That does remind Paimon, though.
excited about the fact that we're getting like to solve some sort of the case, but I'm like, I wonder how this is gonna play out though. That one is gonna be quite further. Is this where we got like the tickets maybe? Oh, there's another spot around here. Here we go. Molly.
Lyney's still talking to the guards.
Who did it? I don't know.
He'll have
I wanna
a lot of
know.
explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright.
I wanna know who did it. Who done it? They don't trigger to talk for us, okay. I think we got all of the other random clues. Not even here. It could be at the spot where we got like the tickets.
Hey, you. Yes, both of you. Over here.
Oh!
Keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Oh! It's the Taylor Swift!
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the moor about that one.
Right on the moor.
Who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it. Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its
Hi,
renowned
Navia.
president.
She's really pretty.
Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
The boss!
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various
Melus.
daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives you the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle.
Demoiselle?
Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that
Boss.
instead.
The boss.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right.
Yeah.
I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back
So
from
she
my father's
will
side.
have some things to say
From the
about
look
it.
of things, I find Lyney an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues now.
Yeah.
But how did you come to that conclusion?
So, there's something I've noticed. There is a star in her eyes.
Unparalleled intuition.
Do you see that there are stars in her eyes? Is it saying that she's a star? Taylor Swift's star, Navia. Navia Swift.
Any decisive evidence whatsoever.
The Navia Swift.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Which I do, like...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times. But liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her. All right.
I really like her outfit.
Question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Okay.
Did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry. You won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
The designs, though, like the outfits of Fontaine, I'm living for it.
Well?
And why would that be? See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus.
The day is so warm, my cavalry is reacting with the temperature thing.
You pass with flying colors.
I just realized.
I need to make some
But
preparations.
it might be.
Following which,
Could
our
be
joint
that
investigation
it might
shall
not.
commence.
I'm out. I don't remember
You two
whether you
shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
We are the lawyers, we are the assistants, we are the traveler.
I can be the assistant, sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You
Yeah,
wish to
we'll
save
need
a
it.
friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, Miss? What about you over there? What do you
I can't believe this,
like
Paimon.
you've got something on your mind?
I have nothing to add.
Oh,
Nothing to add.
alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lyney's tricks.
Okay.
Whoever the murderer, this people need. Why would it? We all.
Oh, there's more people to talk to then? Oh. Yeah, so we need to talk with this. But there has to be something more.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Lyney and Lynette
Yeah.
as attorneys, so we're.
Why would we
investigating the
leave?
case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then either.
We'll see.
How can you be so
There it
sure?
is.
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Lyney's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck, but still,
Oh.
I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door,
She's
I
very
would have
expressive with
noticed
her
it,
like
let alone if they had
gestures.
tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This'll.
Yeah, like
We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders, how Lyney's discussion
Is there
with
like...
the guards is going.
Is there... Oh, we can't explore anymore. Well, I guess we'll see. Oh, it's ready anytime. Oh, okay.
Just so you're aware,
I'm trying to do probably this quest first part. I don't think Act 2 started. I hope it didn't, but we'll have to look at the menu when it leaves actually the thing.
I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived.
What food is it, by the way?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel.
A guardian angel?
I've got the firepower.
A firepower!
Sorry, I got a little carried away there.
I really like her outfit.
I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
The secrets behind
I
magic.
appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Okay.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box.
I mean,
prepared
that's
specifically for this switcheroo trick.
I mean, that's to be
Before I reveal
expected.
everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here?
Yeah, what is happening with that?
I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
It's gonna make us disappear.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
Yeah.
Back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go.
So how has it worked
how
then
it works as we head
fully? Is this like one of those follow things?
So there was a passageway under the magic
I mean, we did kind of expect that.
I knew you'd figure out the 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
But then technically, where did it disappear?
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley.
Because
all while the outer box
then
would
that
remain on stage,
woman should
as
be
if nothing had ever changed.
either here or into the box of the box.
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect.
I did say it's like
My
a recording.
assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting.
That's how we were able to coordinate Lyney's lines with the assistant. And by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is
But,
a
like-
change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked. Wow.
That's insane.
Every
But
detail you revealed was more amazing than the last.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete.
But-
the operative word here being would.
Wood.
But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off.
Well,
yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Lyney and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict.
So
now.
they don't change
I
the
won't disappear into
evidence
thin air, you know.
because they're the suspect.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Okay. We got that. We got a lot of notes here. We like... Oh, there's more to explore. But... I just want to check. Yeah, it's still the first act. It might be done after this one. That's a lot of to examine. Okay. Okay. We know that. Not the ladder! More control. It should be, but we didn't take if it's working or not. So like, hello? Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Paris.
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope.
And it's left behind.
There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Yeah.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever.
Yeah, this is like very...
make a note of it
looks very rushed. A very rushed escape. A very rushed...
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Wet?
Speaking of which, why
Yeah.
would there be water
This is
here?
like where we're uncovering the secrets.
Oh, Paimon knows. It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug
Paimon,
over only
no.
for water to end.
Paimon, no.
There's a broken vase. Huh.
That can't be.
Let's note this down too.
There we go. We are finding clues. We can do something. We are gonna be the lawyer. The lawyer.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right.
Yeah, why are her clothes there?
Really
Wait,
need to
that's
do that if you're
sus.
kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing.
So she still can be around dressed in something else. Because no one was meant to leave. So I think it's those two more...
Whoever the murderer was.
Okay.
Whoever the murderer was.
Okay. Couple more. Tracks are perfect. There has to be something here, right? There we go. Did the lady do it? Did she make herself disappear? Stuffed animals. Okay. I'm in the trolley. There was a vent. Oh, okay, the vent. The vent is gonna be crucial.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Someone was venting here.
Could
oh my
this
god.
have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps.
Someone went.
If they had to pull another person with them. the
Yes,
space
Among
would be too
Us.
narrow.
The culprit. The culprit has been venting. But I didn't see them went. That's what the sound was. I think that's what the sound was then. Where there was the event. You know? My goodness.
Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up.
Look at the traveler. I know Hydro looks better than Dendro. Huh? Oh. Okay.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Exactly. They don't.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
Demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The secret chamber.
The plot thickens.
Plot thickens?
Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Lyney and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right.
I still can't
This
take her
is how a
seriously.
trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice.
Emotions?
To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will and is a judge.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
The justice.
So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought
The
Lynette called
machine?
the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice.
Everything in Fontaine
Yes,
just
the
looks so
guards
shady.
also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were
I mean,
not
that does
so,
make sense,
it
but
could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
break out.
Whoa, there's no need for that. Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Are they providing food? No, Paimon, please.
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Balanced nutrition.
In that case,
No, I'm
let's just sort out our
suspecting
findings
Loki
together
an
here.
Archon in a
Kitty,
way
I was hoping
because
to take you to try
the
some of Fontaine's
Archon
famous desserts too.
was really
I mean, what better way to
strong on
properly
her
prove our findings
accusations,
than over some tea and
and she
sweets?
was also. I don't think she liked that Lyney helped the traveler.
After all.
Yes, and she likes the drama. And she didn't like the thing that Lyney helped the traveler, and also she said, "Oh, my beloved Lyney."
Just kidding.
And now she's like,
Paimon will still do her best.
I didn't expect this
even
from
if
you.
There are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make
why
some.
are we talking about the snacks?
Here? But how?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Now we're making snacks.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove?
Portable stove?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the
The
fancy
demoiselle's
strikes.
making needs. There's no
I have
way.
eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
What is happening?
They are quite the interesting group.
It's just like, okay, I'm gonna make you snacks. He's carrying the portable stove because he knows I'm gonna cook like interesting things.
Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
I can't take Paimon still seriously.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
She doesn't.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency.
Oh my
Or
god.
your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
I'm hungry, but I want to finish the Act 1.
Well,
so I can take the break properly.
Treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be
The
served.
sugar
as
rush.
well.
That's where the
This is
energy comes
Demoiselle's
from.
favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
As I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something
They're still
of
like
a
cleaning,
secret
cooking.
chamber. However, we can assume that Lyney and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Yeah, there is no motive for them, I don't think.
Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel.
Yeah, it could.
Resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
Yeah, who is the third
None of
person?
the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person.
Who is
But
it?
the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right.
I wonder, actually.
And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guards said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing, though, Nadia. They smell great. They're
There's
nice,
no
crisp,
way.
and super sweet.
They are my specialty, after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
Where would we meant to have 3 each?
5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counts
Paimon doesn't know how to count. Oh,
Please
no.
don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait,
Everyone knows you love eating.
even you don't believe Paimon?
We don't believe Paimon, no.
How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
They turn her stone.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Maloose, set up the stove again if you would.
Another time she's gonna cook it? No.
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
We have everything.
This really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Hide on the stage?
And for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver,
Yeah.
Malus, it's time to go.
A small task.
I'll be
Just
back if
cooked
I find
everything,
anything.
had the portable stove and everything. Okay.
Alright, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial.
So it's still Act 1. Okay.
Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case.
What I might do quickly,
About that now. We
I
just
might
need
go
to
to the
prepare.
restroom. Give me a second, because I really need to go to the restroom.
Help you review the situation.
Wait. Huh? No. Whatever. Book learning alone is not enough to cultivate intelligence. All those scholars in the academia are prime examples. Wait. Huh? No. Whatever. The scribe's work is simple, which is exactly why I took the position.
I am back. I am back. And I return. I'll get my food later. No, I'll get my food later because I don't want to finish Act 1. I don't want to finish Act 1 because I don't want to edit for eternity thing because it's gonna be long already. So, okay. Because I don't want to like find like exactly where I'm eating and
Book
it's
learning
just
alone
gonna
is
take
not
away.
enough to cultivate
So
intelligence. All those scholars in the
marker,
academia
thank
are
you.
prime examples.
So I know where I went to the toilet, but I don't want to like go and edit for eternity. Anyways, let me see. Let's continue. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. Wait, what was the time that we need to do? 10? Is it the following day? Yeah, the following day. 8. He really wants to wake up early. Seems to be. Really early. Okay. Like this. Okay. This is the day of the trial. Wait. We weren't able to get this earlier? Nothing to see here, just casually gliding in the court in the opera house.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible
Yeah,
things
but, like-
don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if
I wonder
everyone
how
else
things will play
suspects
out,
Lyney
by
and
the
Lynette,
way.
At least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Nadia.
Yeah, and if someone understands, they are probably the person who done it.
Best of luck to you.
if they understand that. So there's like a scale too. Here we are.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Not
to be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that
She
stop
really
you.
is convinced that
I
they're
shall
guilty.
Be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Yes, you
Both
would.
parties are present. I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident
I'm really
is now in
excited.
session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Lyney explain the trick?
Okay.
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Okay. Reveals the trick. Everyone in the audience
Thank
is
you, Mr.
stunned. Oh no.
In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
But who did? Who did?
In that case,
I wonder who
call
did.
upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lyney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud.
Yeah, everyone heard it.
Practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, how he
I'm sure he
didn't.
could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
So he was moved somewhere.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink
That's
of
actually
an eye.
insane.
Indeed.
But he probably was placed maybe in a different. I'm not being on her side. What I'm saying is it's actually insane.
Myself to do far
That
more
probably
than
he
smash
was
your
moved
alibi.
somewhere.
Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Oh?
The House of the Hearth?
Hold up.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
Hold up. That's insane.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
It's a fact.
Indeed. Then perhaps
I
you
like
could
the
tell
turn
us
of
everything
events,
that
though.
happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in
I
it.
really like her eyes. Like, they're different.
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted?
She's so proud of herself.
Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the
all-nighter I
But she
pulled
was
last night
pulling
was
on
really
all-nighter.
off.
Hey, Lyney, why didn't you tell us this before?
Yeah, that could have helped us.
Order! Order!
That could
Mr.
have
Lyney,
helped us.
Allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth.
Yeah, but
Are
he
these
was like
claims true?
somewhere else then. Yeah, there's something weird, but like.
Please answer my question, Mr. Lyney.
I'm sorry.
Oh
yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Oh shit.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
That's insane.
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Okay,
Is that
I
really
wanna know.
They're already as good as guilty.
Enjoy your D&D, by the way.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your
New
request
lad.
is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
Reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Lyney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to
The
sit
joy
for a
of
little
victory.
while longer.
She's loving this. She's actually loving this. Okay, so what he has to tell us now?
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
You women, the bad guys.
But Paimon's really mad.
She's mad. Now she's got her glasses and mustache are
I
gone.
know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vitui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details
Some
instead.
details, that is
The
kind of
truth is
lying.
very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
It's one of those songs I
You
play
met
in
a
the live
Fatuus
stream,
who
by the
works
way.
as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
At least not in this case.
Please forgive us.
So, somewhere he could be.
Well, you both say that, but... Right, let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Yeah, where did he go though?
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask.
It makes no
We've been trying
sense.
to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
And someone knew that then.
Needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room
So
in
they
which
said
the
no
core
one
is
was
stored.
in
that air
there?
vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Oh?
It should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room.
But
That
what did he
voice
hear?
seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
They want to try to
So,
save everyone, but
there
like...
you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can
This
be the
actually
judge.
is insane, though.
If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I believe in facts.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly.
It's like the way we at times help, like,
We want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations.
literally, like,
We're gonna need a
Fatui.
seriously
You
good
trash child.
huh?
Yeah, let's see, because
thinks she
on the
gets us
trailer
away.
he was meant to appear somewhere. That's our other two evidence I think that we were missing. Sometimes, wait, these rooms have books, but I don't see anything. Like the ones that would glitter, like the ones that you could collect. I wonder how this is gonna play out. I'm actually really excited.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
Let us
When
continue
last
the
we left
trial.
off, Mr. Lyney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the
She's
events.
so proud of that.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Lyney's perspective.
Okay. Okay. Use your reputations to convince audience. So wait, we'll have to do this. Oh no. Oh no. Oh
As
no.
the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
Yeah, but where she is then?
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Lyney red-handed.
I mean...
So Lyney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Lyney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice.
Yeah, and all
through
of
the
this
magic
happened
box
in a
on the
minute.
stand, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's
Yeah, it's not meant to
description
make
of
us
the
believe
events?
us anyways.
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Lyney experienced, and what he saw.
Oh my god, we hear Ether talk. And if I loophole us.
Hmm.
What? Leaning. Okay, we
According to
found
Lyney,
one.
He left via the vent after entering the tunnel.
Okay.
Lyney went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core.
Okay.
Lyney didn't.
Okay, so we already getting some.
Attention! Ace Detective.
Paimon has something to say.
When the countdown started, Lyney did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately.
That Paimon like talking all of this.
The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
He's innocent. Paimon done the job. Successful refutation. She's wearing the glasses and mustache again.
Actually managed to say all that. Wasn't it awesome?
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right.
Her reasoning is flawed.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Lyney only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
Oh my god, they have a point!
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course
Yeah.
I do. If he had
I'm actually loving this.
how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Are
Oh?
you sure we don't need to give this more thought?
Okay. What did we just get? Is this is?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more?
What are we doing here? It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Okay. Already eliminated.
That's right! Lyney wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance.
Oh yeah.
This means that when the crime happened, Lyney had already entered the
I mean, that makes a lot of sense though.
The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof!
How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lyney who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Yeah, who was it though? Select the gear icons in the interface to check the corresponding case question. Okay, I'm scared. Okay. I think it's no longer a suspicion. The only members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Exactly. Lyney gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work by using a box inside the box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lyney himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistants would take charge of on-stage interactions. The clothes belonged to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in a tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Select any clue to view detailed information.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. he would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Okay. Hypothesis correct.
Huh? That can't be.
So the culprit is dead? But
the killer was, in fact, Cowl, the deceased.
Oh, is that so?
Is that so?
Interesting. Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowl did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
That's actually insane though.
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowl. Lyney's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
It was all over it. I said it was the girl, but it was the guy.
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lyney as well.
Yeah.
No one entered or left the Opera House. The deceased's name is Cowl. Lyney's... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey. Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment.
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm gonna select these.
Tough for both.
Yeah?
The sound we heard may have come from...
No. How? Ah! Okay, wait.
The deceased's name is...
Yeah, this is the clue.
The deceased's name is Cowl.
Oh, wait, we need to like put the order?
Name is
Yeah, his name is Cowl.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been... The sound we heard may have come... Lyney was not in the tunnel at that... It would have been tough for both people.
I don't know. I don't know. Ah!
Halsey's clothing was in the...
It's basically...
The deceased's name is Cowl. Lyney's...
No.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
That
doesn't
work.
Have been some... Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal amp... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... It would have been tough for both people to...
No.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash...
Yeah, switch.
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey?
Yes.
The deceased's name is Cowl.
No. No!
The deceased's name is Cowl.
No!
It would have been tough for both...
Yeah? And then?
No one entered or left the
No!
The sound we heard may have come from a clap. Halsey's clothing was...
Oh no, I might just look... I might just look at the thing. I can't.
The deceased's name is Cowl.
Why?
Halsey's clothing
was... It does not make sense for it to have any sort of order. That's it. That's it. I'm looking it up. The order of... I'm solving it. So now, wait, so now we don't need it. This makes no sense.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Yeah, where did you go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it.
No, I'm not the biggest fan of order of things because
Look,
sometimes
since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
They feel a bit like lacking, and that because of that,
just like the trick as it transpired,
it just doesn't work
the
at
end
times.
result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you
Yeah,
not see
actually there
the
was
crowd
water.
is growing impatient?
There was waves and
no
something.
greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
Oh?
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
No, we should be able to. Hold on a second.
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell.
Also, we're
Lyney's
meant to
assistant.
fail it then?
He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. No one entered or left the The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important
No, like basically, it wouldn't have worked then.
It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous
How
you sound at the
preposterous you
moment.
sound.
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some
The reality.
magic trick. Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Lyney already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real.
A very real disappearance.
We're talking about two completely different things.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
Yeah.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
Ooh.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request.
Yeah, it is a
on the
reasonable
part of an
request.
attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us
It
make
looks
more
so
progress.
good from this angle.
Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Oh shit.
The notebook has many entries concerning
What
safe
the heck?
usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
Oh shit.
The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of
Yeah, basically, the soul.
As such, we believe that the
That's
defense's hypothesis
insane.
is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
That's insane.
People can become water. Does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was
I'm actually getting
targeting that girl-
goosebumps.
Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
What is happening?
Wait. What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
Oh,
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to
he
be
is
found.
just so...
Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Lyney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
What?
Let's think about this.
Oh, yeah.
Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Why does it work only on people from Fontaine? Oh, no.
The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another
Yeah,
magic trick.
literally, that's what I'm
Was
feeling,
instead
not
some
again.
form of triggering mechanism. The water from the primordial sea Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
like the hook rope.
I'm just gonna like
The
select
water from the
things because I don't know.
The deceased's name is the rope that held the water.
I'm just gonna test it. I just don't know. Who is the prime suspect currently?
The rope that held the water tank. The deceased's name is Cowell. Lynette was in the magic box on.
So she was in the
I
magic
remember
box.
There was something else within the inner layer of that box. The rope that held the water tank up was lit.
Yeah.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another. The water from the prime. The rope that held the water tank. The deceased's name is Cowell. The water from the primordial. Now it seems like the hook rope.
Please! Ah! It's the fact that we are getting
deceased's name
less
is
things too, but I don't
Lynette
think.
was in the magic. The deceased's name is. I remember there was.
Oh!
Now it seems like the.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you. I really don't like this thing that they introduced. Actually, I don't like this.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Balloon.
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel. And
Unexpected.
wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh.
Wait.
That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of
Yeah.
evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Yeah, who's that accomplice?
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Oh shit.
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
What is it? What is
Thank
it?
you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Lyney's personal effects.
What?
What? Wait, hold up.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic
But that
to
means
have
that
your own counterattack only to come back and wound you.
that person then is still somewhere
Does
there.
this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Oh no.
Lyney did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea.
Come on.
But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Lyney
Cruel
desired
avarice.
sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless
Oh, of course, she would
organization.
use that as a reasoning. Of course.
Am I right, Mr. Lyney?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Actually, like, wonder. There has to be something. Oh no.
No. Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
No. Something has to
Then,
happen.
My good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move... excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
There we go.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Huh?
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh right before your very eyes.
Huh?
Please, do the honors, Mr. Lyney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion,
What is happening?
can magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lyney and Lynette, give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
What the heck?
As the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
Oh, wait, is she actually just gonna just appear back?
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
Oh,
I was hiding
shit.
outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just
Oh,
feeling
shit.
happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Oh,
Where should I
shit.
begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl.
She actually killed him?
What?
Hold up.
Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
She's from Mondstadt?
I heard
Oh
that
my
Lyney's
gosh.
show was gonna be
I'm actually
a real
getting
thriller.
goosebumps.
but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I
She
make a
stole
living. I
one.
steal stuff here and there. And I
Oh yeah, I was thinking that she looks familiar.
I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lyney was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Lyney even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
That's insane, though.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
That's actually insane, like how it's played out,
We
though.
need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
Oh no. We'll keep hearing this.
The strange. The flower vase. Lily-Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left.
And it's
Ace Detective Paimon time!
Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann had not dissolved.
Oh my
He
goodness.
did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in.
Yeah, that does make like actually like a lot of sense, but like because she wasn't from Fontaine, so yeah, she didn't then.
Needed time to take effect. He tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
The Detective Paimon strikes again.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the
What
opera
did she
house
even
these
eat?
last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
Oh
At
shit!
this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have
That makes so much sense.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina.
I
Also,
like
if
how
I may
he's
add,
like
the trial has not yet
kind of
ended.
holding her in the
As
place.
such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
I like him.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
No.
Look at that! She's like a deflated balloon
Like a
now.
deflated
If there
balloon.
are no objections, Then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowl thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved.
Yeah.
He also tampered
He is
with the
really
rope
fair.
suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally,
No, we
he
do
passed
love
the
that.
prepared hook on
I
a
do
rope
love that
through
he's
the gap in the
unbiased.
magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said
I also
box.
like how it showcases the
When
scene.
the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowl entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his
A
opponent
silly
was more
little
capable than
Cowl.
he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim.
His own
Lillian,
final
according
victim,
to
though.
her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Lyney, he was in the underground structures within the opera house.
But that's
thus
actually
ignorant of these happenings.
how does this even
From
play
this
out?
reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Lyney, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Goodbye,
While
monster
there is
cracks
much
me
in
up.
Lyney and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
There we go. Let's see. And it gives it back as a
As
decision.
such, Lyney and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Mother Paimon, Ace Detective Paimon.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Lyney's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Lyney, but you, yes?
Oh,
I'm sure you know what you
shit.
must do to lessen your sentence.
Oh shit.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
Coupon Town!
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lyney, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
The higher-ups? Who are the
And now that
higher-ups,
your
though?
plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the
Yeah, it
protection
would
of
be
the
though.
gods.
It actually would be.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know.
Oh,
Our boss
shit.
discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve.
Dissolving
it can also
people.
Be made into a potion, which, when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is
Who is the boss,
we're talking
though?
about. The
It's set up to do that, basically, then. And hi! So basically, I think the moment he's meant to say what it is, this happens to him, so he won't be able to say it.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected
That's
any less of
insane.
them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
That's insane.
So, we're just going back now? That's true.
That's insane though.
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Who though?
Lyney.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui, I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Lyney this entire time. As
Just
for
plain
why I'm a
Lyney?
Fatus,
Plain Lyney?
It's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The father, the knave.
The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
I'll let
She's
you
your
know.
father?
I'll let you know. See, I called it. I called it.
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever.
Street
Before
rat.
long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
Who is
So
that
you went from
aristocrat?
orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention.
Oh shit.
Which he would then use to expand his social circles.
Okay, that's trashy.
Either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me.
Oh?
We waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a
Oh
gift.
shit, no
You'll be
way.
able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location
That's
of the
actually
mansion of
fucked.
that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of
So
that
basically, Arlehino saved
That's
Lynette.
right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
That's
I was
insane,
hesitant
though.
to trust her.
Oh my god, my camera.
I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans.
Her own plans, but what her own plans would be?
She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it.
Oh?
She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Oh.
She believes in that prophecy too?
That's
wants
right.
to save the Fontaine?
The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on
Okay, she
defending
is
our
from
homeland.
Arlecchino.
To us orphans, the only connection we have left to
Both
this world,
Scara and
apart
Child
from our
said she
family,
insane.
is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like
And they say
distributing
that.
magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis,
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future,
Okay, it's about
feel
voice
free to find
lines.
me.
Okay.
I will do my best to help you, as plain Lyney.
Shit. Not as Fatui, but as Lyney. Oofed. Leave the opera house. Okay. No, that is actually crazy though.
What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Yeah, he wasn't like, we weren't
We're
trying.
the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Exactly.
Ah. I see.
Oh, she's disappointed. No, thanks for the
I
hydrate.
won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Don't say it. No.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
Aww.
It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia.
A few.
Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to
Or-
commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon.
I mean, a meal? I'm not gonna refuse that.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
Farewell meal. Let's go. I'm speechless. I think this is one of my favorite Archon
There have been
quests
many poorly written applications
so
lately.
far.
I guess
I didn't
I'll just have to reject them all.
expect that we're gonna have to solve the case. Like, even like the girl stealing at the very beginning, it was all like done on purpose. Like, it actually like made so much sense. All of the foreshadowing. We also got to know more about Arlecchino, that she actually saved Lynette. Like, the Popular's personality is something else. Yeah, she's full of herself, but also in a way, I do love that for her. But like, I couldn't
Book
tolerate a
learning
lot of
alone is
characters
not
like
enough to
this.
cultivate intelligence.
Nouvellette
All
though,
those scholars
Nouvellette.
in the academia are prime examples.
Unbiased, fucking power. Like literally every single region that you come to, whether that's Mondstadt, Liu, Inazuma, that first Archon Quest doesn't strike like this. It doesn't do as much. And this one, we just went full on. It went full on.
Which is exactly why
I do
took the
wonder
position.
how the whole like child's thing is gonna play out, because I think that's gonna be in the Act 2. But I feel like it's all gonna make sense.
Wait.
They kicked off Fontaine with an absolute bang, like that was so intense and gripping, and there was so much lore for everyone. No, honestly, there was so much lore. Yes, exactly, it's one of my favorites too, definitely. It's crazy. Also, all of these things happening in the Fontaine, like how does the Oratress actually operate? There's like still things to uncover about it, and I feel like already it being the first act of the Archon Quest, we only arrived here. That means that's gonna be so much probably more intense. I really have high hopes. I really have high hopes for a region.
All those scholars in the academia are prime examples.
It's amazing. Okay, I'm really excited. I got goosebumps multiple times as we were doing the quest. So much has happened. I'm really excited and hyped for the Act 2 because it looks really promising.